What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm Sean,
And I'm Troy.
and this is Tapped In.
Tapped in.
Tapped In.
Hey, welcome back, man.
Welcome.
Listen, great to see you. Get to see you. I'm saying that bar like we in front of a live
Right,
audience.
right,
What?
right. Well, we are.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
we are.
hey,
You know,
no,
we
great to
doing
be
this. We
back.
are.
No
So we
doubt, no doubt.
happy to be back. As always, if you tune it in, go like, share, subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You find all the content there. As always, we see you guys comments starting to pick up, so we appreciate that. One thing that we're gonna do going into the new year is just make sure we put a little bit more short format stuff on our social media, so that you don't have to listen to the whole, you know, 45 minute, hour 20 minutes sometimes show. You know, what I mean, you can get little tidbits of what our conversation is, and if we touch on something that you might want to, get the expanded version on, then you can just go over to, YouTube or Facebook and, just watch it on there. But, we want to try to get better, just like everybody else. Start of the year, we want to be bigger and better.
No doubt, no doubt. And the only way we're gonna do that is with you guys' engagement. You know what I mean? These conversations, um, they're common conversations, that come up in the workplace, come up at home. So I'm sure, there's some content that you can relate to. And if so, just drop us a line. We want to hear what your thoughts on it.
For sure, for sure. So let's start off, man. This time of year is my favorite time of year. It's a lot of things going on. You got Christmas, my birthday's in December, and you got New Year's. But right around that is also the Governor's Challenge.
All
So that's
right, no
something that
doubt.
that I enjoy. And Slam Dunk to the Beach.
Right.
That's something that I've enjoyed ever since I was in high school when it started. I thought the Governor's Challenge started then, but then this year I saw that this is the 42nd year
Oh yeah.
of the Governor's Challenge. So just love being watching Hoopers hoop, man,
That's
and
it.
and just seeing, what I mean, just seeing the talent that is levels to it. You got guys that's good for around here. We've seen some that have gone on to play D1, and professionally. But you don't get to see that kind of talent all the time around here. You know what
Right.
I mean? And to me, it's nothing beats the eyeball test of being able to go into a gym. You don't know who a player is, and like, okay, this guy here, he looked different. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And then that kid ends up being a D1 prospect. Nationally ranked. So I just enjoy that, man.
Okay, no doubt, no doubt. I didn't get to really get to too many of the games, so I see that it's grown though. Just the amount of teams that they actually putting in the tournament now, so that's huge. Um, so just based off of all the teams that you were actually able to see, man, what did the talent look like this year? I mean,
Man, it was some talent that really really stood out. It was a kid that played with South Lakes. Um, did not know who he was or anything. And I went with my son, and I was telling him after the game was over with. Well, actually, when the game was going on, I was like, "Look, he's D1 talent. This other guy on his team is probably D1 small school,
uh-huh.
mid-major or like a MEAC type
Okay.
player." And then they had another guy on there, and I was like, "Okay, he could be maybe Division 2." Sure enough, that's how it played out. The guy he was signed to go to Michigan State. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Nice.
Shooting guard, man, silky smooth game. They played Dover.
Oh, okay.
So Dover, and I mean Dover for around here is a really big
Yeah,
team.
they
They
have been for the
long,
last few
yeah.
years.
They
Yeah.
man, they long. They got guys. I think they're starting front court. Nobody under 6'2", six
Oh,
three.
nice.
And they pressed them. I'm used to seeing teams get rattled with Dover's press. Man, ain't then fold, don't
Breaking it
shake,
down.
nah, no nothing. Man.
Oh,
Still getting to his spots easy. And then to me, that also showed me how good actually Dover was as well. It's going to be pretty hard for local teams, to compete with them. I know they got a big game coming up. I think it's tomorrow or Saturday. They play Sanford at Sanford,
oh, okay.
which is probably going to be their biggest test. But there are still some good teams. I was able to watch Seaford play twice.
How they look, man? How they look?
It's crazy, man, because the first game they played, Snow Hill was up 20 points
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the third quarter
Oh wow.
and ended up losing the game.
20 in the third.
Ended up losing the game.
Ah, that's a great
Man,
game.
like the guard, like I hadn't seen their guards get that rattled
Uh-huh.
before, and they just couldn't calm themselves down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like one guy was turning the ball over, and you had another guy, he started turning the ball over, and then next thing you know, everybody on the team was turning the ball over, and it was kind of like a snowball effect, and they just couldn't get themselves together, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
But then they came back the following a couple nights later, and they played Cambridge South Dorchester. That Snow Hill game, they still should have won that game easily,
Mm-hmm.
right? They played them again, they're not gonna lose, right? If they had to, it was just a bad second half for them. Then they came back and they looked like themselves when they played Cambridge South Dorchester. I think they ended up beating them by almost 20 points.
Oh, okay.
So they had a couple guys that scored 20 points. Had two guys over 20 points. Another guy had like 14. Um, young guy, young boy Pun, Omar's son, he had 19 rebounds.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds like they can cook a little
Yeah,
bit.
they can cook a little bit. So,
All right.
and that's the other thing I like seeing. I like seeing, teams play against talent they normally don't play against, and
Right.
see how
That's the true test.
to see how they adjust to
Mhm.
it. How do you rise to the occasion when you're not used to being challenged, and now you being challenged on every play.
Right.
And they got heart just like you got. And it's like, okay, well, and then a lot of times, man, it comes down to the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing
Oh,
that
yeah.
really stands out to me at Slam Dunk to the Beach is just the layers of coaching. When you get like one of the best coaches that I've seen year over year in that tournament is DeMathis, head coach. Got really, really strong guard play. Um, he understands the flow of the game, and he has a lot of set plays,
Uh-huh.
right? So he's always putting his players in position to be able to score regardless of what the defense is doing.
Mm.
They've got to cut. They had this one play where it was playing man. It was like an elevator play, and I'm watching it develop. And before you know it, the big men come off of the block. They swung the ball around a couple of times, drove baseline a couple of times, got the ball back up to the top. Next thing you know, the two big men from the bottom going up to the free throw line.
Uh-huh.
They set screen on the two guards, and the guy who was handling the ball just drove right in between.
Wow.
Shot a floater. I'm like, yo,
Opening part of the Red Sea right for
yeah, part of the Red Sea right.
Okay.
And they didn't just go right into it. They ran a couple of things,
Mhm.
got the defense moving, then hit
Got
him
just what he wanted on it.
exactly what he wanted, man.
Okay.
And that's to me that's pretty impressive. And all of like those top tier teams, those nationally ranked teams, you could tell they put a lot of time into the craft.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
So, but yeah, no, but that was fun, man. I enjoy that as always, man. Then after that, we got New Year.
Oh yeah.
So what did you guys do for New Year?
Man, New Year's, man, we kind of laid back, man. Played it slow. Wifey, she got in the kitchen, man. Had a traditional black eyed peas, man.
Okay.
That put together some. Man, she cooked a nice dinner. We actually went to church, man. Yeah, we went to service, man. Brought in it. I haven't done that probably 8 to 10 years, man. So
Oh,
it
wow.
felt good. Yeah, it felt good, man. Really quick, gave about an hour, man. Brought it in and came on home, man. And it was a blessing, man, just to go into the new year. Man. Looking forward for great things in 2025. You know what I mean? No new year, no new me. Same thing, same old me. Hopefully a renewed mindset on
Right.
some things. But yeah, it was a good New Year. What y'all end up doing?
Oh man, we celebrated at the crib, man. My wife made black eyed peas yesterday, and my kids like, why you gotta make this more often? You know what I mean? Because she put this smoked turkey
Yeah.
turkey
Mhm.
meat in there. I mean, they was hitting. But that night we actually celebrated, at home with the family. Had some other family, a couple their aunt and some cousins come over. and played your game, man.
What is it?
Left, right, center.
Oh, right. Oh, man. Okay,
Left, right.
so you got a pocket full of ones right there, huh?
Nah, man. Actually, the kids won, man.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was like 9 of us playing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, the games went long, you know what I mean? And my little niece, she won the first game, and then my daughter won the second game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
fun,
mean,
man.
we gave them money though. You know,
That's-
we played with quarters, but we ended up giving them, I think it might be like $8,000.
Hey, man. Yeah, why not? That's family fun, man. You know what I mean?
Family.
That's it.
So we
That's
did that. We did a couple of other games. Um, my cousin brought over the little twist confetti thing.
uh-huh.
Man, it was fun while we was doing it.
Right.
But then you look down at the floor, it was like, somebody gotta clean all this. I mean, we was popping like,
Oh, yeah.
like a mega joint. I said, man, it's still stuff.
I was gonna say y'all gonna be finding confetti all week, man.
Man,
All
stuff.
cracks and crevices.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
So do you guys do the whole New Year's resolution thing or?
No. Like I think I touched on it a week or two ago. You know, I really like to do, evaluate birthday. You know, I go from birthday to birthday. And I don't, you know what I mean, to me, if you're really trying to evolve, that's a constant thing. You know what I mean? And if you wait until the new year, I mean, then you're just pushing it down the road again.
It's a missed time. Yeah.
Every today is the day, right?
That's
you know
it.
what I mean, it's not tomorrow, it's day to day. Today's the day that you have to make the changes that you need to be the person that you want to be. And you got to understand it's compounds. You know what I mean? It just compounds. You know,
That's
what
it.
you are today. Hopefully, you're not going to be 30 days from today or 60 days from today. But you know what I mean? I will say, it is. You do, even if you don't plan it, there are some things that pop up in your head, like it's the new year. I really would like to, be a little bit better here, even though I'm making strides already. I can still be better. You know, so I think it's just a reminder, like it's a reset.
Well, with any business, you have certain times of the year when they look at the books and say, okay, we're doing this. We need to do a little more of this. And I think that's what New Year represents, to a lot of people. It's like a reset. Okay, I can look, even though I'm moving in this direction, I can, see where I can add something to it and be a little more consistent. I did see an interesting fact though, man. It said by the second Friday of the new year, most folks who do make New Year's resolution quit them.
That doesn't surprise me,
You're talking 14 days.
man, because most of the time when people are making those resolutions, it's things that require some type of lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you can't just make a resolution and not plan. Right? So you got to have a resolution, but then you got to set up a plan for success. Right? So you can't say, okay, well, I want to come in this year, I want to lose 25 pounds. Right? Well, if you don't have, like now with like Chat GPT and Gemini and all of those things, right now you can talk to your phone and say, hey, look, put together a 30-day meal plan for me. Here's the meats I want to eat. Here's the vegetables that I like. Find me recipes that I can fix every day. It'll generate it for you. And so now all you got to do is have the discipline to go to the store, however you want to meal prep it. But I mean, go ahead and cook the stuff ahead of time or on the weekends so that you got your meals already ready. And then it's not even a thought like, oh, I'm busy. I'm not be able to, make this.
Right.
Because you know how it is. One day not being too busy, turn into 2 days to being too busy, to next week you eating a cheesesteak.
That's it. And the planning is big. I mean, even with, just say if you say, you know what, I'm going to start the gym, I'm going to go 3 to 4 nights out a week. So if those 3 to 4 nights out of the week, you don't change anything. You don't say, okay, well, I better cook my dinner in the morning because at night. So you're gonna get off work, time to go to gym. Still need dinner. So you have it planned, like you said, or the kids, normally you transport them here and there, and you haven't put anything in place. It was a good idea,
Right.
but you didn't plan for it.
Right.
So, and what they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Right.
So yeah, that makes sense. So I think that's a key contributor to why. And then another thing is, I think a lot of people set large goals,
Unrealistic goals.
unrealistic. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Unrealistic goals. Why not create a small goal, be consistent, hit that one? Because you can always go back and modify your plan.
But see, that's the thing that I think people don't think about. And I'll be one to say I'm one. I've always been one to write stuff down of what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
And then when like I said, in December I'm usually thinking about my goals and what I want to do because that's what my birthday is, or for my next year. And I will put a really lofty goal down,
Uh-huh.
knowing that it's hard, right? And then you get to work in it, and it's just like, man, I'm falling behind. Instead of saying, okay, well, look, I want to be better than what I was last year. I don't got to be 30 deals better. I can be, let's say, 7 deals better,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And if throughout the course of the year I'm running ahead, I can remodify that goal.
Right.
Say, okay, well, look, I'm sticking to this. I'm motivated because I'm hitting my goals, but I think I can squeeze a little bit more out of this, and then you bump that number up,
Right.
right? Instead of like 2-3 years in a row, it's like, man, every year I'm setting this goal and I ain't been able to hit it.
It's going to kill your morale. It's
Right.
going to kill your morale. But once you hit a goal, even if you hit a small goal, you say, okay, I want 7. You get to 4, you're going to start feeling like, okay,
Right.
I'm motivated.
Yeah, now I got to get these 3 knocked out. You know what I mean?
If that number was 30 and you hit 4, you're like, wait a minute, man. So yeah, it's just about setting realistic goals, man. I think that's definitely important. But man, so basically, I guess by the second Friday in January, I should be able to find a parking spot easy at the gym because I know the next few days it's gonna be hectic.
Man,
Man,
sure.
yeah, that thing
And
wrapped around the
it'd be
building.
busy. It'd be busy times when it don't even normally be busy.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah,
Like middle of the day or late at night. I mean, you always know, from 4 to 7 that thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's gonna be packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, man, because that you see it. You see it, every year, man.
Oh, you do.
And it'd be different people, different crowd. Yeah, if you stay consistent, you'll see them come in and out.
But I tell you what,
Some of them same ones that was there 3 years ago still probably paying for that membership.
still paying for it. Come back. They can buy the attire, had the gear, come in looking good. But man, my advice to anybody, listen, you have to start somewhere. Listen, I applaud anybody that want to start, but start with a realistic goal and start moderately. I mean, I don't care if you used to go to the gym. Don't just go in there thinking you're going to do what you used to do. Because I think once that soreness hits your body, that's probably one of the main reasons. Because I did legs just the other day. And man, listen, it's not the day after you do it. It's the following day when you really feel it. So they get in there and they start to feel that. They're like, man.
Hey, and when you do legs, man, after about day 2 or 3, when you really feel it, when you hit that toilet.
Good God, boy, that's a hurt piece, ain't it?
Boy, you sit down on that toilet, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, them legs be like, yeah. We need some relief.
So yeah, man. I encourage everybody, man. Stick with your goals this year, 2025, man. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I have a question for you, man. I was thinking this week, man. We was looking at something. I don't remember what I was looking at, man. And the question came up with regards to love and respect.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily in your relationship with your significant other, but just in all of your relationships as a man. Which one do you put more value on, love or respect? Or not even put more value in, but which one would you prefer?
Respect. Just going in like from a surface level, because that's my filter,
Mm-hmm.
right? So my filter is if you're being disrespectful to me or around me, then I know I need to separate myself from you, right? So essentially, what I'm basing my decision off of is just respect. Even in the workplace, if you got somebody who's respectful of your space, respectful of your things, respectful, it's you're more inviting, you're more open to them, as opposed to if you're in an environment where you trying to get on track, for your New Year's goal, you the meal prep, you put yourself in the refrigerator, and some joker then came in there and warmed your stuff up and ate it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, total lack of respect.
so it's hard for us to even move past that. For us to be associated and in the same circle and in the same space, like one or two things got to change. Either we can have a heart to heart, and it's going to be another level of respect that needs to be had, or this ain't
right. You just not rocking with them, right?
You can't rock.
I agree though. And I prefer respect too, and that's in all of my relationships. Respect first, like you said, because that is like the qualifying factor. Even if we're gonna take this relationship any further, if we're gonna be homies, if we're gonna be somebody I tolerate, it's gonna be respect. And then also, I was thinking, let's think about this. Most of the time, the people who do you the worst, or well, first the ones you let closest to you can hurt you the most. But one of the main things somebody say after they done wrong you is, man, you know I love you. Man, see, so that respect stops them from doing that action.
Right.
Because love ain't gonna stop them from doing the action. They're gonna you can still be selfish and love somebody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But that respect is gonna make you think twice and say, I respect them more than that than to do this or say this. So I prefer the respect.
Yeah. It's crazy because then when you talk about it in that sense, is there a place for you where it's just like, all right, I haven't heard that too many times now. I mean, because there's got to be some on the respect level, some non-negotiables or something where it's like, look, this the one time I'm letting that fly. Going forward, this happened again. We can't rock like that.
A lot of my relationships I carry like that. I mean, because I feel like I respect you don't know what people's going through. You never know anybody you encounter. So even if, it's situations where some jokers are considered, I wouldn't think of anybody as a clown, but, they'll say, oh, he's a clown, and they might joke on him. I'm going to approach that man with the same respect as I approach the pastor or anybody else because he's a man and he's a human. So with my relationships, I only give room for a certain amount of disrespect anyway, because I'm going to check you right from the door, because I feel like if whatever you allow, that's how, it's going to continue.
Right.
I had a young guy start my job, man, and this is years ago. And this young guy, man, and he was a lot younger than me. But when he told his jokes, or when we talked, he liked to use, certain words. He was MF this and this. So he was talking to me, and we was in the break room, and he approached me with that, and yo, man, MF for you, and ha ha ha, and I stopped, and I was like, oh, I said, my name's Troy. We're not gonna do that. I don't play that. And the whole break room stopped, and they're like, ooh, and I'm like, man, because that's not the point.
Right.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make, we can laugh and joke, but you can't talk to me like that.
Right.
Because if I let you go today,
now you're gonna do it.
Now you're gonna do it. Then all your friends that laugh and joke, they gonna do it. Now I gotta stop it later on down the road when I could just nip it in the bud.
No. Yeah.
So that's how I feel.
And then again, that's that level of measurement. Because if he can't take that, then it's like we're not even on the same wavelength anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a man, if I can't say, hey, look, man, I don't appreciate, you addressing me that way, and he can't understand it, or like, oh man, you just like, nah, man, I'm telling you. Like I could easily not say anything, you know what I mean? And and act a certain way, but it's like, hey, look, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. It's like, hey, all I ask is that you respect me. I'm not gonna come at you that way. I just expect
that's it. That's it. And it's reasonable.
Yeah.
And you should be able to set those expectations. Now when it comes to love, I know love is different levels of love too. So you have love, unconditional love,
Mhm.
and some recipients of that could sometimes tend to disrespect you because they know that your love is unconditional. I have a family member now. I, man, listen,
I'm glad you said
love them to life, man. We love each other. But that love sometimes turns into disrespect because it's the same joker that'll call me 3 o'clock in the morning, will hang out with all your homeboys, party, get stranded, call my phone 3 o'clock in the morning and want to ride.
right.
Now, to me, that's disrespectful,
Mhm.
but I know that, it's love there.
You're right. And I'm glad you mentioned family because like that's the one thing that you can't choose,
Right.
right? And so and a lot of times those difficult relationships are the family relationships
Hmm.
because these are people that you grew up with all your life.
Yeah.
You didn't get to pick them,
Hmm.
right? So like when I'm talking about initially when you asked the question, love or respect, I'm thinking about somebody new coming into my life,
Hmm.
right? But then you have people that have been in your life that have been there before you even establish your own moral compass or standards,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and then during that time, you guys could have grown apart. Somebody might have moved away, and or just somebody has matured at a level that another person hasn't,
Uh-huh.
and they remember you when you were young,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all they can relate to. It's
Uh-huh.
just like the things that happened to us when we were young, in might have been middle school or elementary school that mold who we are today.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same way that those are the same memories that family members have of you. Like, oh, I remember how Troy was like this. It's like, well, I'm not like that.
Right. Right.
I've grown up. You know what I mean? That I'm not cool with that anymore.
Right.
And so that's why it becomes hard in those relationships because the love came before anything.
Right. Right.
You know
So
what I
they
mean?
don't feel like they have to respect you as they would respect
A stranger.
somebody else because they still talking to you from a teenage level, and you're a grown man now with the
With grown
family and
kids.
with grown kids.
Right.
I get that, man, and some people don't mature in that
Right.
way. They don't. That's a lack of maturity. But even with that, then if you speak out, you change. You're the one changing. Like, man, why are you different? You know how we do. No, that's how we did
Right.
back in the
Right.
day, man.
And I mean that should be honestly, man, that you shouldn't be the same person that you was 20 years ago,
Right.
man. Or the same person when y'all was hanging out in high school. It's just like, dude, like, what have you been doing the last?
Right.
Or it could be a female cousin. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like, yo,
And
we
it's
was teenagers who
and do we really have anything in common? Is that if that's the only thing that we have to talk about 20 years later, every time we get together, we have to talk about remember when.
yeah, and see that's the one thing that's different about family and friends. So
Mhm.
like a friend, like if there's a falling out or a disrespect level, it's like you can cut them off. But
Mhm.
with family, there's gonna always be an event that happens, and you can't control
Right.
who
Who
your
shows
family.
up in the family? Who
Right.
comes?
So
Mhm.
even though you don't want to be associated with it or want to have to deal with it, it's like you still don't want to take away from the the
The
family.
family. Right.
You know what I mean? The people who you want to see
Hmm.
or want to be around. Not saying you don't want to be in this space with that person, but it's just like, okay, well, if I had my choice, I wouldn't.
Right.
But I don't. That's not my. I don't have that choice. God put me in His family for whatever reason, and this is what I have to deal with. And it's crazy because I think that I mean, and this is on a whole nother level. You know, what I mean, like on a more spiritual level. You think about it. I think that also teaches us how to interact in relationships
Oh yeah.
because
Absolutely.
we're put in a place where like you can't, regardless of how much you don't like what a family member does or how they act, there's nothing that you're gonna say that's going to make them change their mind.
Right.
They have to want to change their mind, or they want to have to do better, or they may have to evolve on their own. What does that force us to do? We've got to learn,
Accept them right where they at.
right?
And
And it is what it is,
Mhm.
right? And you have to be the bigger person in that scenario.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Family. That's family, man. Family.
It's
But and then you also got to look at it from the other side of the coin that you know, and when you're looking at it on a spiritual level, I mean, sometimes you could be that person's protection. You know what I mean? Because they do have the family. Most people know when they're annoying, when they're irritating,
Mhm.
but they feel a level of comfort and safety when they're with their family. So they might go a little overboard.
Mhm.
Sometimes they get to feeling good or do whatever. But you know what? I'm amongst family. If you can't be yourself amongst family, then you can't be yourself. Where can you?
Right.
Yeah. So
So I guess on a totally different subject, you had brought up something to me, a video where um, just talking about the lifespan and how much time we actually spend working, and working up to retirement.
yeah.
And where did we, and when I say we, and not necessarily saying all of you, but basically anybody, who grew up in the United States, why do we feel like we should have to work until we're 60 and 70 years old before we can enjoy life, right? The things that are here that we can see, touch, and feel only if we make choices and prioritize it. But we'll wait and say, okay, I'm gonna just keep working, and I'll get to that stuff when I get retired. I mean, do you think just the way the things that we watch on TV and the things that have been taught to us in school, from an employee mindset, has kind of trained our society to delay the things that they really want to do for a time that's not even promised?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that we've been conditioned, and I always say, man, we need a reset button, man. We need to go back and do this all over. I mean,
I thought 2024 was that year.
yeah,
We had a lot of stuff going on.
I
I
mean,
thought Cat Williams had pushed it.
well, COVID, COVID did a lot of it because people realized that they can do more than just the 9 to 5. They realized that hey, I can create my own business. I can work online now, and I can do this other
Right.
things. But yeah, I think we've been bamboozled, man. I mean, starting off, that might have been a good equation. You know what I mean? Work this many, but it don't work. It doesn't work like that anymore. I mean, life it moves fast, man. People around you. We just talking about friends and family, man. People leaving here every day, and they have these bucket lists. Well, you figure, okay, from me personally, I started working when I was 14. So from the birth to 14, I was free.
Right.
From 14 to now, nice. But see, my mindset is a little bit different because I understand that you can't get time back.
Right.
So I'm living during these years. So you're gonna hear about me making some moves because I'm living. I'm gonna enjoy my family. I'm gonna make memories, and but everybody don't get that opportunity because their jobs may not allow it. But I think the important part is, even though it's structured that way, you got to have an identity outside of what your job is, what you do.
For sure.
Because sometimes somebody asks you, man, you know, who are you or whatever, and the first thing you think about is your job because you spend so much time there, so much of your life. That's you answer with your job,
Right.
but your job is what you do. It's
Right.
not who you are.
Right.
And I think once you start understanding who you are, you can live. Even I'm not saying quit your job and not do that, but understand who you are and what you want out of life. Because during those years, you don't want to wait. I mean, till you're 65 years old to try to do something that you should have done in your younger years, youthful wise, because your body and your mind is just not going to respond that
Right.
way, and you miss out on that window.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to say, "Oh, I want to go hang glide. I'm gonna wait till I'm 65."
Wait, it's not going to look like how you envision it at 65.
Right.
Yeah. So
But it's crazy because as you were talking, I was thinking, I'm like, what really does play a part into it. And I know you and I always have deep conversations, but you think about the structure of it, right?
Hmm.
It's crazy because right now we're getting, I think, in a renaissance area where people want to be more self-employed and do the things they love to make money, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that also allows them to have more freedom. But you think about it, from 1930, when Ford started, mass producing cars and
Uh-huh.
having factories and stuff like that, they were the better paying jobs. So people left whatever they were doing, rather it was a small family business or
Uh-huh.
farm or something like that, to go into the factory.
Right.
Now, guess what? Who dictate who dictates how much time you can take off in a year to do the thing that you want to do?
But that job.
That job.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So now it's just like, well, I can only, on most typical jobs, I can only do what I want to do 2 to 4 weeks out of a year.
Right.
2 to 4 weeks out of a year. It's
Yeah.
all you have to do the things that really make you feel alive.
Exactly. Unless
You're in
you're
control.
one of your, or unless you in control of it, or you're one of the ones who stick to your dreams and your goals and find something that you like to do.
Right.
And they told me if you're doing something you love doing, it's not work.
Right.
So, and a lot of jobs have purpose to them.
Right.
So if you're going in a field that is purposeful for you, you feel like you're getting fulfilled from it,
Mhm.
and that's cool. But if you get up every morning and you hate this job, and you're doing it just to pay more bills and just, I think you're wasting a lot of valuable time.
It is, but there's also a balance in that thing, because I think I've been fortunate enough to have to work for myself for a long time and to do what I love. But in doing that, you can also throw yourself in it so much that you don't take time out
Yeah.
to enjoy the other parts of life
Right.
that you love. You know what I mean? So it's two spectrums to it.
Mhm.
You're either getting up and you hate what you do, or you're getting up and you love what you do. But in both instances, you still have to carve out the time that you need in order to recharge your own battery. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
if you like to travel and go places and you haven't gone anywhere in 2 years, like like psychologically that does something to you,
Oh yeah.
because you're depriving yourself of something that you actually like to do. And so I think it's important on either side, to be able to, again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, plan.
That's it.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, okay, well, if I say I'm gonna take 2 or 3 vacations a year, and I just say that, it might not happen. But if I say, okay, well, next week I'm gonna start looking for something in April, and I put a deposit down on something from April 4th to the 10th, guess what?
Yeah. You gotta go.
Gotta go.
You got, unless you want to lose your money, so
Right.
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Right.
And you have to be more intentional about what
You
you
do.
want to do. Go ahead and lock in and do it, because it's a time you can't get back, man. And then also, man, it saddens me when I when you speak to the elders and you talk to the older people, and you hear them a lot of times say, "I always wanted to," or "I always," and I'm looking like, man, what happened?
Right.
Why did what? And then it also makes me wonder what type of people or influencers were around you,
Mhm.
because if I'm talking to somebody and they say, "Oh man, I always wanted," or I'm motivating you. I'm not saying maybe you can do it tomorrow, but how do you achieve this goal? Let's get it done. Let's do it, because it's an expiration date on everything.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure, man. So, if anything, man, y'all take from this conversation, don't put life on hold. Live today. I mean, set a new goal. Don't let 62 or whatever the number, 68 or 70, whatever the retirement number is now for Social Security. Don't let that be your guide for when you want to retire. I mean, if you want, you double down and you can say, I want to retire when I'm 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
That's
nothing
it.
wrong. If you actually come up with a plan that you can work and retire at 50, and I've got friends that have done it. Actually, was 49 and
Oh yeah.
retired, traveling the world. Now he's not working, but now he's doing coaching and motivational speaking.
Things that like, just enjoy doing. Love.
Things that he would do for free.
Right.
He getting paid for it now.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? So it's all about thinking the mindset, and that's what we're here for. Is just to challenge you. If you still working right now and you're in the 30s, or you just get ready to start and you're in your 20s, you know, hey, set a time frame. Say, I want to be done working when I'm 50. I'm not trying to work
Yeah.
more than half my life away. You know what I mean? Because you think about it, you start working when you 18 and you don't stop until you 68.
Right. 50
That's 50
years.
years, man.
50 years.
50 years. That means you only, I mean, on average, you got about 30.
Yeah,
And the first 15, you couldn't do nothing. So
exactly.
then the last 15, because of health and stuff, you might not be able to do nothing.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it leaves room for a lot of regret.
right,
It leaves room for a lot of regret, man. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So speaking of regrets, I know some people might feel like they missed out on, you know, buying a house when interest rates was at, you know, 2%, 3%.
Yeah.
When you could buy a house in Sussex County, you know, move in ready for $100,000.
Man, miss those days,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you got inflation going through the roof, and some people are like, man, I can't, you know, I mean, I can't afford to right now pay my rent and car insurance and, you know, housing expenses as far as food, utilities,
Yeah.
and still save up money. I just want to give you guys this one real estate hack that I think can help a lot of people who are just starting off, or even people who, you know, are established and just trying to figure out how can I get to that next level. I think we all have friends or family that we get along with really, really well, and don't mind sharing a space. You're both respectful of the other person's space,
Uh-huh.
and you know, and the things that they're doing. And so I think it's something that more people will should look into and should do, and that's, you know, getting a house to rent with, you know, somebody that you get along with, and then y'all share the cost of living.
That's it.
So now, you know, if you're renting a place that was $1,800 a month, now it's only $900 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The utilities that you was paying $400 a month for is now $200 a month. You know, so now that gives you another $1,000 over the course of a year, because most places are gonna have you sign a lease for a year. That's $12,000 that you could save
It's a
up.
down payment.
That's a down payment.
Yeah.
Down
Yeah.
payment. That's my hack. That's my real estate tip for the day to get you in the game. Because I'm telling you right now, you know, that dream house that you want, you know, if you're just starting out or you haven't bought a house before, is not is not going to be the first house that you buy. The dream house that you want is going to be the house that you can afford to buy now, that's going to build equity over time, that's going to allow for you to be able to have the cash that you need to buy that dream house, right? And you even though time is the one thing that we can't get back, that's also the one thing that can help you get to your goals, a lot easier, especially in real estate, because, you know, you get up, you know, every day, and every day that house, you know, as long as the market and everything is good and there's no exterior factors, you know, going on in the world, that house is going to go up every day
I
you get
appreciate
up.
it. That's
You know what
it.
I mean? And so, you know, you thinking, man, but you know, that might take 4 or 5 years. Well, I mean, if you're renting right now and you're not able to save any money, um, 4 or 5 years, you're still gonna be in the same place, and not and the house is gonna be that much more expensive than what it is now.
Oh yeah.
You know
And
what I mean?
and if I could interject, man, we listen. It's a proven method. It works. I watched it across other cultures.
Mhm.
You know, I watched they come together, they cohabitate for a year. I'm talking about to the point even get a van and drive one vehicle.
Mhm.
We all going to work in the same direction. We're dropping each other off, but we're saving. When you were putting money away, so then the first family might can move out, get a house. Now, let's say you buying this house, we can go take it even further now, because now that house we was renting, we could move out of there, move into the purchased house.
Yep.
Now we're helping you on your mortgage,
Yep.
and also helping you save to get into your next. And look, that formula you can't lose.
You can't, man. And I mean, it sets you up, it, with the way that our economy is and the cost of things.
Mhm.
It's it's easier to do things together than it is by yourself, right?
That's it.
And most people think like the only way I can do that is if I'm married, I think, like I said, just with the way that, our society is going, it's going to take some creativity to be able to get into a house.
Oh
It
yeah.
might not look and come in the same form that what you've seen your parents be able to do. But if you're creative about it, diligent and consistent,
It can happen.
it'll happen. It'll happen. I mean, so if you got any questions about that, feel free to reach out. And I'll be glad to answer any real estate question that you might have. So shoot me a DM, it's a message me, or shoot me an email. I'll be glad to help you guys.
No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
sure. You got anything else, sure?
So everything, man.
Life, man.
So we like
Life.
Yeah, we like. I had something I was gonna read, but I think I'll save that for next week, man.
You can save it for next
Yeah,
week?
I'll save it for next week, man. I think it's a
All
good
right.
topic, but we might want to delve into that a little bit.
Okay.
So
Hey, so he got a topic. You looking at this? If you got a topic, come on, man, hit us up, man. What y'all waiting on, man?
that's it.
We don't got to come up with all the ideas. I know it's something that your homeboy, your homegirl, you always talking about, or your husband or your wife, y'all sitting in the bed. I don't understand, like, why they doing this, or why they think about it like that. Not talking about us, but somebody in your circle, so going through something.
Oh yeah,
And maybe you want to hear a different perspective on it, man. That's what we're here for, man. We just trying to help everybody level up and just get tapped in,
tap in with us. Tap in.
Yeah, for sure.
No
Sure.
doubt.
So thanks for tuning in, man. We'll see you next week.
Next week. Peace.